What's going on, YouTube? My name is John. Welcome to the channel. I am going to be working on the car that you guys are currently propped up on, which is my 1971 Dodge Charger 500. It's unbeknownst to me, it's somewhat of a rare car. It was an anniversary gift from my mom to my dad. My mom passed away a few years ago. My dad gave the car to me. It was in an accident back when my dad had it. He used to drive me and my brother and my sister to school in it and all that. And my goal is to get this car done, painted anyway, by my wedding, which is August 28th, 2021 this year. So I figured I would start up a channel, just kind of showing progress and bits and pieces of whatever it is I'm doing on this car. I will flip you guys around and we'll take a look. Pardon the mess, I'm a busy man. So this is my 71 Charger. Currently, I am finished with the bodywork on the fender. I just got to block sand it down to, I believe I have 600 grit, maybe right there. I'm going to block sand this whole side down. That quarter panel's done. That hole in the door there was patched, as well as a hole on the inside of that door right there. I'll show you guys that later whenever I get around to it. The hood is currently open because that lip on the back there needed some work. So that's pretty much where I am with it right now. The car does run and drive. I've never driven it. It sat for about 20 years. It's got a 318 in it, not the original. It's got a 727 TorqueFlite transmission, and I believe it's an 8 1/4 rear end, one wheel wonder. No big deal. I'll swap that out when the time comes. It was originally a bench seat column shift car. I have put in a center console with a floor shifter. I have a new column to go in it that'll kind of delete the stick off of the side, but that's kind of pretty far down on my list. This is my valence. This will have to be all sanded down. This is just some self-etching primer on here. I had a lot of bare metal showing, and it's going to be a little while before I end up getting to the actual paint. So I sprayed that on there just to keep it from rusting, hopefully, while I wait. That's what all this green is some self-etching primer, a lot of dust. This is my list currently. Get a lot of this dust off. So, tidy up brake lines. I've got a whole new brake system in it. Well, new. Then it's got a new master cylinder, the junction block and everything all underneath it I've rebuilt. It's got all new lines, front and rear. It's got all new rear brake hardware, drums, shoes, everything, new brake lines. The fronts were new when it was parked 20 years ago. They're still in really good shape, but I've got to pull it all apart, send the rotors out to be turned, repack wheel bearings, and tighten up some suspension components. I've already timed and tuned the motor with a vacuum gauge. I'll probably have to do a little bit more of that once I actually get it on the road, and I'm going to have to give her a little bit of a little bit of a tune-up to get her to stop smoking. Vice Grip Garage actually uses this stuff called Berryman's, which is supposed to be a lot like Seafoam, so I'm going to give that a shot. He seems to have good luck with it, and so I'll give it a shot. No big deal. I'll end up putting a new motor into this eventually. If the channel takes off, then I'll record all of that as well. That's just a heater hose my brother's coming to pick up, and then this is my mess. I live in Michigan, so it's very, very cold right now. My thermometer up there says 45 degrees, but I did just have this heater running for about a good 4 or 5 minutes, and this thing's hardcore. What else have I done to the car? I have put in a new extension housing on my transmission for some provisions to actually mount up the linkage for my floor shifter. I have cleaned and painted the inside of the trunk, as well as underneath, slapped in a new fuel tank, a couple of new lines, new fuel pump up front, rebuilt the carburetor, a few other bits and pieces. The floor, years and years ago, I tore the interior completely out of it and patched a couple of small holes in the floor, mounted my bucket seats, mounted my center console. I've got a new carpet, which is currently in the trunk right now in a bag, trying to keep it as dust-free as possible. Interior is basically mint. There's a couple of small pieces. The dash is wasted, as most of these old cars are from sitting in the sun. So that's more or less where I'm at with it. So I'll flip you guys around, talk to you just a little bit more. I'll keep this video short because it's just going to be all talking. And then we'll talk about what I'll be taping next. All right, so that's kind of the bare bones of it. There's a lot more that's gone into this car, and I'll kind of cover it as I go. I've already filmed this like twice, and they turned out to be something like 15 minutes long and me just yammering on, and nobody wants to sit there and watch that. This whole video is going to be me yammering on because it's too cold. I'm almost out of propane, and I'm kind of stuck waiting on some stuff to show up. Yeah. So coming up, I am going to be finishing this driver's side. Then I'm going to back the car out, back it back in so I have better access to the driver's side, where that quarter panel is either going to need to be completely replaced unless I can do some serious magic with a stud welder and body hammers to bring it back out. I guess I could bring you guys over there real quick if, you know, I mean, I might as well bring you guys over there real quick after I'm done yammering on, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It was T-boned at an intersection, so the story goes. My dad had tried to fix it with some body filler, and I mean all of the body filler. You guys think it's a lot up here. It's nothing compared to what was up here. On this quarter panel here, it was a 1/2 inch thick. I managed to scrape it all off, use a stud welder, bring everything back out, and now it's an 1/8 inch, maybe a little bit more in some spots and a lot less in others. So I'm happy with it. I thought I was gonna have to replace this quarter panel too, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Parts for this car are very hard to find, especially body panels. They don't make fenders for it. They had a skin that came from the body line down, and I tried ordering that like 2 weeks ago, but that's been discontinued. So I've got to get a whole new quarter panel and then just cut off the hunk that I need, which is going to be a pain in the ass. So hopefully I can fix that side over there, but from what I hear and what I've seen so far, it doesn't look very likely. Yeah, so I have got an LVLP spray gun coming in. I've never painted a car before, so I'm definitely going to tape that and show you guys how I messed that up royally, I'm sure. Yeah, so I've got a paint gun showing up. I haven't ordered any paint yet. It's very cold here, so I don't want to order my paint until right when I need it. And then I'll store it inside while I'm waiting. I'm hoping to get the whole car in some high build primer, block sand everything down, get it all nice, smooth, and flat, as flat as I possibly can. And then I'll do a color reveal probably about the day that I'm getting ready to paint it. Yeah. So I hope you guys stick along. If you want to see what becomes of this car, what I end up doing to it, I've got 1,000,001 plans. I'm talking all new suspension, new motor, all kinds of goodies, all kinds. But right now, the plan is just to get it presentable and running and driving reliably so I can drive it to my wedding venue, which is roughly an hour and a half away from where I live. It's a nice median point between friends and family and everything. And then after that is when all the upgraded stuff is going to happen. New suspension, new motor, maybe boost. I've never had a boosted car before, and this seems like it would be pretty sweet with a couple of turbos packed in there somewhere. Let me know what you think. So, yeah, if you want to see what's going on with it, like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell. My videos are going to be very few and far between at first. I'll probably get better at it as I go along, but I'm also pretty busy guy. So I'm getting ready to start a new job and all that crap. So I'll have more free time. The job I'm at now, I'm working 60 hours a week, so I only get like an hour in an afternoon to come out here, bust some stuff out, go inside, work on my new house and all that crap, and try and keep my fiance as happy as possible so I have a wedding to actually drive this car to. Should be pretty cool, right? I'm not a body technician. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've just, the University of YouTube. I've got a few friends and some family members that have done extensive body work on cars, so I'm learning a lot from them. And you know how it goes. Oh, I'll help you with the car. Yeah, no big deal. I'll come over and help you. It's just me in here. Don't know if you can tell from my breath, but it gets cold in here quick. It's a block garage and all that, so I've got to, do what I can quickly and then get out so I don't freeze to death. Yeah. So I'll drag you guys around to the other side of the car, show you what's up with it real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, this is the other side. this fender, my dad and my brother and my cousin and, you know, everybody and their mother has worked on this side of the car apparently. So this fender, I don't need to do anything to, as far as I'm aware. I'll be pulling the fender off anyway and going through all of it just to double check. I need new hinges for my hood because it sits very high, as you can see. So if I can find new springs for it, that'd be cool, and just rebuild it. If not, I'm gonna have to get all new reproduction hinges, which luckily I've found. I'll show you the interior right quick. Oh, excuse me, that was a jack stand. Pop this open, don't have all that much room. That's all Bondo dust, excuse it. That floor is just dirty. Other than that, it'll clean up super nice. Got the chintzy dash cover with Gumby over there chilling. Put the slap shifter in it. You can still see right there underneath my light, that's the old console shift, or column shift, excuse me. I've got to do a little bit of electrical work just to get it out of the way. I've got the new carpet. I've got new kick panels, kick panel insulation. That's the old kick panel insulation sitting right there. And that's the interior. Back here, this is the quarter panel in question. You can see all of the primer and my marks in it that I hit it with a grinder just to kind of investigate. So up in here, not bad at all. I mean, I'm gonna have to feather all of this out now that I've ground down in there all hardcore, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Down here is where it gets worse. Okay, you can see right there, that's pretty thick with filler right there. Up here, not so bad. Over here, not so bad. And then it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper the farther I go back, until you hit that. Now that is a nightmare situation. That's easily a ½ inch thick, easily. And it was worse underneath that, where that light there goes. It was much worse. You can even see, move this light around. Look at how thick that is right there. That's insane. I'll hit one pothole and that thing, that whole chunk will just fall right off. No bueno. So I'm hoping to, once I get the car turned around, it's a little cramped over here. So I'm gonna turn the car around and I am just going to buzz all of this off. This was all taken off with a torch and a scraper. Easily the best way to take off Bondo. So yeah, I'll continue on that once I turn the car around. Down here, it's the worst, down by this lower panel here. So it might just be more worth my time to just get the whole new quarter. I'll cut it just below this body line here, and then I'll just end up cutting the panel basically where you see my grinder mark already underneath the paint there. I'll follow that the whole way down, buzz in the new panel, and just be done with it. The trunk, not a body, might be a body, I'll never tell. The trunk, this was all patched previously. I don't know who did it. They did okay at it, I guess. I had to fill it, no big deal. I've got all new locks for the entire car. Underneath, under this lip here, you can still kind of see the tack welds there. It was a giant hole all the way across. I had to fix all that. That's done now. Trunk is all painted, new fuel system, all that. Yep, so that's the quick and dirty of my car. All right, guys, that's it. So, I've said it once. I'm going to end up saying it a lot. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button. You'll be kept up to date on all of my videos. In the next episode, it'll be probably a lot of me block sanding and doing the finishing work on the passenger side of the car before I go ahead and back it out, turn it around, back it in, and really start digging in on the driver's side, at which point I'll go more in depth on what it is I've done, all the stuff I'm planning on doing, and all that. So, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I didn't yammer on too much for you. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you. If you didn't, you'll never know. I guess. That's fine. That's cool. I'm not your dad. That's fine. All right, so I'm going to turn my heater on, probably flip it up to time lapse and start shooting the next video. Thanks for watching.